Hi, it's Steve from Part Select. In this video, we'd like to show you how easy it is to change the bake element in your electric range. Now, before we begin this type of repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to ensure that the oven is cool to the touch. Then you'll also want to disconnect the power. Now, before we begin, if it's at all possible, you should remove the oven door. You'll also want to remove any interior oven racks. Now, in most cases, the door on your electric range is easily removable. That will make doing any repairs inside of the oven that much easier. Simply open the door up. Now, on some models of ranges, there will be a movable hinge stop located in this area. You would simply fold it out to lock the hinge in place, raise the door again, and then lift them off. Other models of ranges simply slide off of the hinge. Again, you would tilt it into the broil position, lift the door off, and set it aside. Now, once we've removed the oven door and the racks, we now have some room to remove that element. But typically what you'll find is that the element is attached to the rear wall of the oven cavity with screws. So you'll need to remove those. Now, this particular range has a convection feature, so we'll also need to remove that rear shield as well. Now, our next step will be to gently pull that element towards us. The terminals on the rear of the element are fitted through some insulation, and then there will be wires attached to either end. And again, make sure that we secure that wire, and then we can remove the old element. Now, before you install your new element, one thing you should really do is check the condition of the wires that attach to the terminals on the element. Inspect them for any signs of corrosion or overheating, and if there is any found, you'll want to replace those terminals. As well, if you've had to wiggle those terminals to remove them, you'll want to crimp those just slightly with a pair of needle nose pliers to make sure that they get a nice tight fit on your new element. Now, once we have both terminals attached to the element, we're going to fit it carefully into the back wall through those openings. And it should slide back freely. We want to try not to disturb the insulation any more than we have to. And once it's resting against the back wall, we'll reinstall the two retaining screws. Now, if you've had any resistance in inserting the terminal ends of that element into the back wall of the range, you'll want to remove the back panel and just inspect that to make sure that we didn't push any insulation out of the way or that you didn't get caught up on some external wiring. Now, to access the element terminals, we'll need to remove the rear panel of the range. So with the back panel removed, we now have access to the wires on those element terminals. So if you were unable to push those element terminals through the back without catching on the insulation, or if the wires weren't long enough, we would need to remove that rear panel and then carefully attach our wire terminals to the element. Now that we've replaced the element, we're ready to install the heat shield. So next we'll replace any oven racks that we removed, and then reinstall the door. Now we're ready to reconnect the power and ready to start cooking again. Thank you so much for watching this video. We certainly hope that you enjoyed it and you now have the confidence to change your own bake element. If you need an element for your range, be sure to visit partselect.com, enter your model number, and we'll have the right element just for you. And hey, remember to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.